kind of pulls it together. But once you start getting into the films and you start watching them over and over again, as I hope you will on DVD or whatever, you'll see that there are lots and lots of things about, deeper kind of story elements and concerns and preoccupations which link all three. And there are, the sort of idea of having a continual adolescence or one person fighting a lot of people, be it Sean against the zombies or Nicholas Angel and Danny against the NWA or Sean and the boys against the fucking galaxy, which is what it eventually comes down to. So there are obvious and not obvious things that link the three.
And we wanted to have this thing where, I think we realised that after Hot Fuzz that there were some things that linked it, and in this one there was a way of, making like a wrap-up and making it quite final, because in Shaun of the Dead, Sean has to grow up, he's got to leave, like, Ed behind and grow up and be a man. In Hot Fuzz, Nicholas Angel has to dumb down to be a better cop. He has to come sort of meet Danny Butterman somewhere in the middle, like, he's the humorless kind of professional, Danny's the big kid, and they've got to meet somewhere in the middle. And then this one, Gary King, who wants to be 18 forever, is going to drag his friends back in time through the magic TARDIS known as alcohol.
Have another one. I'll go in front. Yes?
Yeah, so along the trilogy lines being the final trilogy, does that mean that you are going to try to make a different style of movie going forward, or are you just going to stop kind of having a link?
We're going to do the Three Colours Aston Martin trilogy. Maybe they'll play ball.
I don't know. I mean, it's like, we only finished this movie like a month ago and stuff, so we sort of feel it's just still sort of feel quite satisfied that we actually made good on the promise of doing a third one. So I think if we do something again, and we would like to work together again, I think it would be something different. We wanted to make this like a piece, and we've made three, and like and I think sort of found ways of tying it up in this one.
How about over here? Yes.
Female Sean.
So I really think your sound in your movies is amazing and hilarious. Is that something you think about when you're writing and shooting, or does it come afterwards?
So the question is about the sound. It was really amazing and hilarious, and how do you think about sound when you put the film together?
Yeah, I guess that goes back to when I did Spaced. I wasn't pausing for applause. I just had some gas. I'm sorry. Generally, I had a burp there. I'm sorry. No, but when I did this show Spaced, like when I first showed it to the network, it just really didn't work without the sound effects, and I wouldn't even show them and rough edit until I put the sound on. And I think ever since then, there's some said it's really important, just the sound and the music. Whether it comes into the writing, I don't know. You don't necessarily write things into the script, but there are some things that are like early ideas in terms of like straight away in this movie, because the network is the idea that it's all, kind of like the grid is having that horrible, mobile cell phone static sound, which I now know is called GMS. Because it's a noise that whenever I hear it, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. So I kind of thought that would be the noise for the villains, And you can feel sometimes people in screenings kind of like going like this when they like hear like phones going off and hear vibrating and stuff. But I thought that would be a good noise for the baddies. But I mean, on the three films, I've had the same like sound effects editor and mixer, Julian Slater, who's amazing. But it's a big part of making it kind of impactful for me.
You nearly forgot one of the key sound effects, didn't you? You put it in at the very end.
Oh yes, the fruit machine noise. There's you call them slot machines over here. There's like the same. That's one of the things that links the trilogy, is this sound, which I nearly forgot to put in the third film, and then did at the last second.
In the very front.
Any advice for young filmmakers?
Advice for young filmmakers.
I think I started making amateur films at school, and I didn't have any connections in the industry. And I think the thing that's good now is you actually have more platforms to get your work seen than I ever did when I was growing up. Through the internet. It's amazing. If you've done a short and people like it, it's going to get seen. But I think the important thing is, if you're just starting out, is that you should not be put off by failing. You will make mistakes, and it's like you're never gonna like sort of nothing's gonna be perfect straight out of the gate.
Yeah.
So I think you should be just really persistent and tenacious, and just not give up. because I think that's the thing that some people, when they want to get into the industry, they get immediately downhearted, like by how tough it is. And the important thing is to be incredibly tenacious.
Yeah, thank you.
All the way to the back, yes.
I think the thing that really struck me about The World's End is how latent it is with these really killer special effects. And I was wondering, with 3 films, is that kind of a result of having that success earlier? It gives you the opportunity to do that later? And also, can you give me just a ballpark idea as to how much it costs to make each film?
But this one cost less than double Hot Fuzz, so it's kind of like gone incrementally up, but not that much, like a lot less than than both Scott Pilgrim and Paul. But the important thing is to make sure that all the money's on screen. I think that's the thing with movies. Sometimes you see movies that cost 10 times this movie, and you think, how the fuck does that cost $300 million? So I think the thing is that what I've learned through the three films, I mean, there's a thing of having confidence, and there's a couple of digital effects in Shaun. There's more in Hot Fuzz, and then there's more in this. But it's less about the actual budget and more about the sort of confidence of where to use them and how to pull it off. And I think I'm always learning with that, and that's because I have amazing collaborators like Double Negative, the effects company that have done stuff on all of the films, and did Paul and did Scott Pilgrim, and they even did Don't, but with each one, it's sort of you start to kind of also the technology is getting so great now that you can shoot, we shot all of those action scenes with the headless people and armless people without any green screen, which 3 years ago that wouldn't be the case, and that immediately makes it sort of that you can shoot it in a style that feels so real and vivid. It's great, it's that you don't have to do lots of passes with green screen, otherwise you'd never get through it all. So I think it's just learning. I mean, with special effects, I think everybody's learning. Things are always changing, and it's just, what's nice about this is it's like a mix of physical effects. There's makeup effects, prosthetics, animatronics, and then digital effects, and sometimes all in the same shot, sometimes alternating between shots. So that's always fun to do,
The animatronic head in the toilet was so good that I thought people would just think it was CG. It's almost what is the point of it being that good? People are just going to assume that it's digital, because it's the best piece of animatronics I've ever seen, I think.
You'd be standing around on set during that scene, just in between takes, and all of a sudden the eyes would go, and they would look at you, but they'd be,